can't Crackhouses be closed down, especially in Highland Park, Ridgedale, and the area around Main Street?
There have been a lot of crack houses, as Josh said at the start. I retired 2 years ago, and I was the captain over the area that includes those particular neighborhoods. The police go in and they execute search warrants, and they arrest them.
Use your mic, please. We're getting students that I can't hear. Hold it up close.
Well, is it working now? The police go in and they do their jobs. But once they remove those people, it's not the police that prevent others from moving into that house. And this goes back to the ownership of the community, that if you live on a block and there's an identified crack house on that block, you have responsibility, you have as a stakeholder, to stop that house from becoming a crack house again. It could happen to any of us once or twice, but if it keeps happening, what does the community need to do to prevent that type of person from wanting to live in your community? You know, they have the civil process, which Sergeant Simpson does, where they go in and they try to do the abatement through the district attorney's office, but that's not the answer. That's a very laborious process to get this done. The community's got to take a stand, block by block, street by street, community by community, and say, we're not going to stand for this. And as long as you let it go and you rely on the police to come in and bust those crack houses, only let that to become a crack house again, it's just a revolving cycle.
Is there a procedure for our Is there a procedure for our stopping?
If the community wanted to do exactly what you're saying to them, what would they do?
Well, again, the police department has 3 sectors, sector 1, 2, and 3. Each of those sectors has a monthly meeting with residents. I'm not sure where sector 3, which is the Brainerd, East Brainerd area, has theirs. I want to say maybe Brainerd High School, or one of the chief officers, somebody can help me. You know, sector 2 has a meeting every, the first Tuesday of each month at Park Ridge Hospital. They donate the use of their conference room where residents come to those meetings. The ranking officers from the police department are there to listen to their concerns. Not only does that happen, but, you know, Mr. Smith lives on this street, and Mrs. Jones talks about a problem she's got. Mr. Smith offers suggestions how that community worked to solve that problem. So it bonds the different residents from the area to say, this is how we approached it, this is what worked for us, and it's grassroots problem solving. The procedure is, you know, if it's a crack house and you know it's a crack house, you call your police department. They build a case on it, ultimately wanting to execute a search warrant. And then the people that are in there, if they do have the drugs, go to jail. But it's got to be a procedure in place that will allow the officers to actually execute a search warrant. They just can't come up and search somebody's house.